Buying a business is easier than ever, but watch out for the landlord trying to kill your dreams. Getting a loan to buy a business is just not that hard. The credit score required is pretty achievable. You don't need to have a lot of personal assets, or in most cases, any personal assets. And most banks are doing deals at 2.5% down, even as low as 0 if you have really strong industry experience. So the true barrier to your ownership is not the bank, it's the landlord. So the way the SBA loan program works is that individual banks do loans, and those loans are guaranteed partially by the small business. So the bank has that government-backed guarantee to help them take the risk on you and your business. But the landlord doesn't have a guarantee. They're just out there on their own. So if you're buying a business with a strong retail presence or where the location is really important to the business, you're probably going to have a hard time getting past the landlord if you don't have high income from other sources or significant personal assets. So this really is going to come into play with, say, food franchises, gyms, or a retail shop. And landlords are really tricky going into the deal because unlike the SBA guidelines, which is pretty constant across the board, each landlord can do their own thing. They can require whatever they want. There's no standard. You never know going into a deal if you make an offer if that landlord is going to accept you as a tenant. And a lot of landlords also don't like people that are using SBA loans because they specifically have to sign a form that effectively subordinates them to the SBA if you were to default on the loan. So essentially they are lowering their stance in the event of a default. But there is a way to fix this, and something that we've done that can help. In a lot of our videos, we talk about buying packages of franchises rather than one-off stores. And just to give you an example, we had a deal this year where there was a package of 4 stores. One of the landlords turned down our buyer so that they would not accept them as a tenant, just looking at them on an individual basis. But what we did is that we used the entire entity, so all 4 stores as the guarantor, and the landlord accepted that, because then if just that one store is doing poorly, then cash flow from the other 3 stores can support the rent payment for that one location, and the landlord was okay with that. So it's always kind of ironic in this space. Bigger is always better. If you don't have a lot of personal assets, you're probably going to have an easier time buying a bigger package of multiple stores than you're going to have buying a one-off smaller location. And landlords really like that structure. Like I said, there's no standard, but you have a really high chance of getting approved under that type of deal where you have multiple stores securing the rents. It's just another example of buying bigger is almost always better.